Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ape Omede here. Uh, How's everyone doing? I can see someone is already online. Thanks for joining. If you can let me know or just drop a comment for me so that I can know who is online with me. I'll just wait for a few minutes for some more of our community members to join, and then we will kick off. So just wait and see. Good morning. Can you just say hi in the comments for me to know who has just joined me so that I can recognize you accordingly? By the way, thanks for joining. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Okay. All right, welcome everybody. Good morning again from Nigeria and good evening from here in Australia. Very excited to be here today for another edition of our community call, which we hope would be a regular activity in our community here in the group, Life Excel Resource Center. Throughout this year, by the grace of God, we hope to make it a weekly activity that we come together and share with one another and strengthen and inspire one another, and at the same time encourage one another as well. So I'm very excited to be here this week again. And I just want to thank you also for being with me last week. A lot of us showed up last week for the first session, the first edition for this year, which was quite interesting to see many of us, and the interaction was very beautiful. So I want to thank you for joining me last week. And if you're joining me here today again, I also want to thank you for joining me here again today. So this is streamed at the moment at across different Life Excel platforms on Facebook, in the group, on the page, on my personal page as well, Success Convert page, and Intentional Excellence page as well. So if you are on any of those pages, you can share them or share the stream from there. If you're in the group, it's not possible to share the stream from the group because the sharing option is no longer allowed in private groups. So unfortunately, we can't share from the group. But if you're on the page, then you should be able to share from there. And also, this is live on Life Excel's TV, which is our YouTube channel, and as well as my personal YouTube channel. So if you're able to do that, we'll really appreciate it. Okay. So I just wait for a few more seconds for one or two persons to join the session. Okay, so without much ado, I don't intend to make the session today too long, and I just want to go straight to the point with what I want to share with us today. And by the way, I hope your week has been beautiful, and I hope that the month of January has been beautiful to you as well. And generally, I hope that 2024 has been a great year so far to you. For me, it's been wonderful so far. I have no complaints. I still have my eyes on the expectations for the year. There are a few things I'm looking forward to this year, and I still have this strong belief that those things are going to come to pass, and I'm working as much as I could, and as the Lord gives me strength to make sure that those things come to pass. So I hope that your year has started on a very good note and has continuously been beautiful, as well as this month, January, which is just a little bit almost done. I mean, we just have a few more days to go in the month, and you can imagine it was just as if it was yesterday that we said Happy New Year to each other, and now we're almost out of the way with January, and that is the reason why you need to step up your game immediately. Don't wait for anything. You might be thinking that you still have time, but the fact is that you don't have time. The earlier you hit the ground running, the better for you. The earlier you hit the ground running, the better for you. Okay, so don't wait for anything. If it is that you need to learn some things to be able to be effective this year, then start now to learn those things. If you already have the skills and the talents and the potentials, and you have an idea of what you want to do, go ahead and start doing them. Don't wait for anybody, right? Because before you know it, December will be here and 2023 will be gone, and you'll be like, what have I done with the year? But I hope that won't be your story. So I want to encourage you to there's still time to catch up with the year. All right, there's still time to catch up with the year. So I will encourage you to try as much as possible to make sure that you make most of the year. Thanks, James, for joining. I appreciate you. Good morning. I hope you're well. I hope that Abuja is beautiful this morning as well. All right. So I was just trying to encourage you to make sure that you make use of the time that you have before you run out of the year. January is gone already. All right. So that's by the way. Today, I just want to have a short conversation with us on how 3 ways to find your voice. 3 ways to find your voice, and that's basically what I want to share with you today. And the question would be, when we talk about your voice, what do we mean by that? It simply means your message. It simply means your whatever it is that you carry as a message that it's been given to you by God to share with the world, share with those that are nearest to you, share with those you have influence over, and all that. That is simply what it means when we talk about your voice. So your voice is synonymous to the message that God has given to you. Simon, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks very much for joining. I appreciate it. So that is simply what your voice means. What I'm doing is sharing my voice with you through the message that God has given to me, which is the message of inspiring intentional excellence through the instrumentality of the knowledge of the Word of God. That's my voice. That's my message. Okay, and you too should be able to share your voice with your generation. Should be able to share your voice with the people that God has put under you as an audience. There are people that you have influence over, and those people will need to depend on the power of your voice, the power of your message, to be able to go out there and do the things that God wants them to do. But you can't do it until you have been able to find your voice. Right? So you can't say what you don't know, and you can't share what you don't have. So the first step in being able to share your voice is knowing how to actually find it. So when we talk about what it means to find your voice, we're simply talking about discovering and expressing your unique perspective, or your unique ideas, or your unique thoughts about a subject or a topic. Discovering and then expressing. So those two things have to go together when we talk about finding your voice, right? So just like we're talking last week, that you don't light a candle and put it under a bushel, but you put it on top of each stand, you put it on top of the lamp stand. It is from there that it can now radiate its light to all its surrounding and disperse every darkness around it. So when we talk about finding your voice, these two components must be in place. One is that you discover, and then you take the next step, which is to express your unique thoughts, unique ideas, unique perspective about a subject or a thing, right? So there are people we know that they are very vast when it comes to the issue of relationship. There are people we know that when it comes to the issue of finance, they are very vast. There are people who are very, very vast in the issue of marriage. There are people who are very vast in the issue of business, ministry, career, and all that. So why those people are able to stand out to you is because they have not just only discovered their voice, their unique perspective about those subjects, but they're expressing them. They're expressing them, right? So when we talk about finding a voice, we're talking about your ability to discover and express your unique perspective about an issue, and it's something that could actually be very, very special, to you, special and specific to you. For example, I have passion about excellence, and so everything I do, my voice is always around helping, inspiring, and empowering people for excellence. And that's what I've been doing, for a long time now with my life, and I try to push it to every other aspect of knowledge, how you can apply excellence to your relationship, how you can apply excellence to your business, to your finance, to your career, to your academics, to your marriage and all that. And so when we talk about finding your voice, you need to be conscious of not just discovering what it is that you can do, but make sure that you are expressing them uniquely, just the way that you've been empowered to do it, and the way you understand that it should be done. Okay, so now you might be asking, why do I need to find my voice? Why do I need to find my voice? It's very simple. There are many reasons why you need to find your voice, but one of the most important is that when you find your voice, it stamps you out as an expert. All right, it stamps you out as an expert. And now I want you to think about your own personal circumstance. Assuming you are in a financial situation where you need some help, right? With maybe some financial knowledge, or you're having a kind of a financial challenge that you need to discuss with someone who will be able to help you out of that. I think that the first thing you would do is to find someone you think is an expert in dealing with financial issues. That's the first thing you're going to do. You're not going to look for somebody who is an expert in a relationship to deal with a financial issue for you. So you first of all look for someone who you think is a financial expert. And why? Why would you single out one person? Why will you single out a particular person to say, okay, this person is the person I think that has the knowledge, the expertise, the experience to help me solve my financial problem? Why you're doing that is because you must, in one way or the other, been impacted by the voice or the message of that particular person in that particular area or in that particular dimension that made you to feel, think, believe that he or she has what it takes to help you solve that particular problem. So that person, through sharing his voice or her voice, having discovered it and now expressing it, has been able to stamp himself or herself as an expert in financial matters, or in relationship matters, or in career matters, or in academic matters, or in public policies, and any other area that you feel that person is an expert in. For you to come to that point where you feel that this person is an expert, it means that that person has discovered, expressed, shared his or her voice with you, and made an impact left a stamp in your heart to make you think, feel, believe that that person is an expert. So this is just the reason why it is important that, one of the reasons really why it is important that you find your voice, discover it and begin to express it, because by the time you begin to do that, you will be able to stamp yourself as an expert in that particular field. And when people need help, when people need a solution for a particular situation or circumstance, they know who to go to. So if you want to be the go-to person on any particular subject or on any particular issue, you need to find your voice. If you want to be an expert in any particular thing, you need to find a voice, and not just finding it, but expressing it. So, but today I'm not going to be talking about how to express. I just want to focus on how to go about finding your voice. And I said that there are 3 ways I want to share with us today. So let's go quickly into that. Number 1, to find your voice, you need to understand what comes easily to you or for you. Everybody is wired uniquely. That is why in defining what it means to find your voice, the word unique was there, and it's emphatic that that word is there. All right. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is what comes to you easily. And I want you to be as practical as possible. You need to get a pen and a piece of paper and ask yourself that question, and then put down whatever it is that come to mind. And to be frank with you, this is something I did, so many years ago, when I was asking myself the question of how to find my voice, what it is that I want to, become an expert in. I came to a time where I needed to write down everything that I feel that I could do easily. That, I mean, if you wake me up any point in time and give me a task with regards to that particular thing, I am 100% sure that I will deliver 100%, to it. So you need to ask yourself that question: what is it that comes easily to you? Is it writing? Is it speaking? Is it dancing? Is it singing? Is it helping people? Is it being faithful to any task or assignment that is given to you? Being committed to it. Is it, you can have a voice in that dimension? People can know you for being a faithful, a loyal person, to whatever it is that is committed to you. And you can use that to teach people how to be loyal in whatever it is that is given to them. Because in our society today, a lot of people are not loyal to tasks or assignment or job or whatever it is that's given to them. All right. So you need to sit down and ask yourself that question: what is it that comes easily to me or for me? And what that means is things that don't require too much effort for you to do that excellently. Things that don't require you to think twice. It's not something that you need to sit down and think about it or be like you're not too sure if this is what you want or what you can do or not. All right. So it's something that that at any point in time, even if they wake you up by 5 a.m. to deliver on that particular assignment or that particular task, that particular project, you are happy, excited, and willing to give your best to it. And when you do that, you give everything that you have to it and get 100% result out of it, if I may use that particular criteria or criteria to qualify it. Even though I know that it's not every time that we're able to get 100%. So I'm just using it as a term to say that you do excellently in it. So what is it that you do easily, that comes to you easily? What comes for you? What is it that you don't need to put too much time, too much energy, too much effort to achieve result in? That is an indication of one of what your voice could be. All right. The second way to find your voice is knowing what drives you to want to provide solution. Knowing what drives you to want to provide solutions. So the first one could be things that are positive, things you love doing, things that are not pain points to you, per se. But the second point is now things that are maybe pain points to other people that you have the capacity to provide solution to. And you love to provide such solution. You love to be the one to be called upon. to solve that particular problem, and it comes, I mean, it's like a drive, right? That you want to fulfill, you want to satisfy at any point in time. That could be an indication to what is your voice. If you're able to discover that and be able to apply your unique perspective or unique ideas and unique thoughts to that particular situation, that could be your voice. Again, with me, one of the things that drives me to try to provide solutions to people is when I see people who are capable of excelling in whatever it is that they are doing. People who have the capacity to be excellent, living mediocre lives. People who have what it takes to be excellent, but they are rather expressing mediocrity in any area of their life. When I see it, I feel a kind of a pain. I feel a kind of yeah, just feel something happens in me that wants me to help them, that wants to push me to help them, right? That wants me to stand up and do something about it, find a way to support them to become excellent people, right? So nothing else drives me more than seeing people who have what it takes to be excellent people, but then not living up to that standard. And now this is not about perfection, right? It's not about perfection. I'm talking about the capacity to be at your best in whatever it is that you're doing, without minding who else is doing what else around you. It's not about competition. It's not about doing things to be like other people. It's about being your best at every point in time with whatever it is that is given to you within the scope of the resources that you have. Being the best at that particular point in time, that is what I'm talking about. And I'm saying that there are people out there who have what it takes to be the best at a particular point in time within the scope of the resources available to them, but they are not. And when I see such, I feel a kind of a drive to be a solution to that particular problem. I feel a kind of a drive to try to find a way to support them to excel in that thing that they are doing. And that is me. That's me. And I know that this is my voice because it happens all the time. If you want to wake me up, it's the easiest way to do it is to present somebody before me who has the capacity to be an excellent person, but is living a mediocre life. So I have a way of being able to help them come out of that. And that's from my personal experiences and some of the things I've learned over the years and some of the methods and strategies that I've developed over the years as well. Right. So you need to ask yourself that question as well. What drives you to want to help people? What drives you to want to provide solution to a problem that people are facing? If you're able to find out that, then you will be able to find your voice. So again, take your piece of paper and a pen, and write down 2 or 3 things that you feel that drives you to try to find solution to people. Is it maybe you don't like to see people living in poverty? Is it that you don't like to see people living in sickness? Is it that you don't like to see people fail? Is it that you don't like to see people longing to become married but still not being able to find a life partner? Is it that you don't like to see people struggle to grow in their career? Is it that you don't like to see people struggle to set goals and achieve them? So it could be any of these things. You need to sit down and ask yourself which of these resonates more with you. All right, and then put it down effectively and begin to think of how to find a way to implement a strategy that will help you to be a voice in that particular direction. And then the last way that I want to share this morning is what is it that people testify positively about you? What is it that people testify positively about you? Now, every one of us you have a testimony. And I hope that your testimony is testimony of good, because some people, their testimony is testimony of evil, but I am sure that for members of Life Excel, that's not, the same with you. We're all special people, right? So, but the point is this: people talk about you, all right? People say things about you. Now, what are the positive things that people say about you? What are the positive things that people testify about you? And if you don't have any positive testimony, well, if you don't have people saying something about you, then it means that you're not doing anything, because there's no way you'll be doing something that people don't say something about it, right? That's the first thing. If you're doing something, then people must say something about you. So if you don't have people saying anything about you, then you're not doing anything, and it's a very dangerous place to be. You need to stand up and start doing something. Then the second one is, what are the positive things that these people now say about you? What are the positive things that people say about you? And one of the ways to do this, which I did also many years ago, is to talk to people in your circle. Talk to the people in your the network, right? It might be in your church group, might be in the whole church if people know you very well in church, might be in your class, wherever it is that you're studying. It might be in your family, even extended family also can help with that. And ask them. You might want it to be, you might want to make it a blind survey, so that people will feel free to respond, because it's very, very helpful that you know what people will say about you. All right, because it goes a long way to tell you, what is your strength and what could be your voice. So you can ask them to write on a sheet of paper 2-3 things that they feel positively about you, and maybe 2-3 things that they feel negatively about you, because you need to also balance it. Know what is not working and know how to correct it, but then know what is working and then know how to build on that, right? So you can ask them to do that, and you get 5 people, get 10, 15, 20 people to do that for you. Please, can you write 3 things you think I'm doing very well, that you feel positive about? Do you have a testimony of how my life has been a blessing to you? What did I do that was a blessing to you? So ask them to write it down, fold it, don't open it, just fold it and collect everything together in one day, so that everything will mix up, and that way they will feel very comfortable to write whatever it is that's in their heart, if they know that their name is not going to appear on it, and if you're doing it in a blind way. So, but what I'm telling you is, it's really going to be very, very useful to you if you have the courage to go and do it. I think I did something like this maybe in 2002 or 2003, thereabout, if I can remember very well. So that's many years ago. So that's about 20 years ago now I did this. I sat down, and it was in church. I asked some of the members of the church to tell me what they feel I do that they feel positive about. And they did. Those I asked, wrote some things on the note, on a sheet of paper, and then they shared with me. And when I opened those sheets of paper, I realized, okay, this is where my strength lies, right? These are the things that I'm not doing very well, and I began to strengthen those things that they wrote that were positive. And over the years, I've been building on those things, and they've become everything that have come together to be my voice today, right? So if you want to find your voice, you must be open to practicing something like this that will allow people to speak to you. What is it from their heart? All right. So that's the third thing, and that I feel that we need to do if we want to find our voice. And it's very, very important that you find your voice, like you say, because it stamps you as an expert, right? It stamps you as an expert. You can't say that you are an expert in anything unless people truly know you. For sharing your voice, expressing your voice in that dimension, and they know, okay, that this person is actually an expert in business. This person is actually an expert in digital marketing or social media marketing. This person is an expert in mental health. This person is an expert in research. This person is an expert in global opportunities or non-profit organization, community development, health, and so on and so forth. So until you begin to express your unique perspective about that topic that you have passion about, that topic that you are interested in, that topic that you understand very well, you have good knowledge about. People cannot, consider it to be a voice in that particular perspective. And think about it, like I said, everybody you know and you respect, you call an expert about a particular thing or concerning a particular issue is because those people have been sharing their expertise, their knowledge, their voice every day with you, and that made you to feel that this person is an expert. And if you want to get to that level as well, that is what you need to do. You need to discover and then express your unique perspective, your unique idea, unique thought about a particular topic. It doesn't have to be all the topics. It can be just one or two or three that you know very well, and you can speak to people about it. You can inspire people about it. You can equip people about it. You can teach people about it. You can support people about it. You can use it to change people's life and all that. As you do that, people will now begin to look up to you as an expert, and that will stamp you out. And the people who are paid are the experts. If you're not an expert, nobody pays you, because nobody will call you to come and solve the problem or to come and share with them. But they call you to come and share because they know you are an expert, and then you can place value on whatever it is that you're sharing, right? So to be an expert that will get to a level where people are comfortable with having you share a voice with them to a point of getting paid for it, you need to find that voice. You need to express it, and you need to share it with the world. And I said that there are three ways that you can find your voice. As I round up, I said one, that you need to ask yourself what comes easily to you or for you. What comes easily to you or for you? And the second one is what drives you to want to solve a problem. What drives you to want to solve a problem? And I've given some examples. I said, for me, what drives me is that I want to see people excel. So if I see people who have the capacity, the potential to be excellent in their academics, in their study, in their personal life, in personal development and all that, and they are not getting it, then it's a drive for me. It awakens something inside of me that wants to help them. So you need to ask yourself that as well. And then lastly is, what do people testify positively about you? What do people testify positively about you? And I feel that that's even the strongest one. It is what people tell you about you that it really shows you who you are, because you might be kind of restricted by how you feel about yourself, and without being open to what people say. But if you're open to what people say, it will show you a different perspective of who you are, and that is very, very important that you have. So that is where I'll stop the conversation for today, and I hope that it has been useful to you. And if it is, then I think that my goal has been achieved, and I hope that when we come back again next week, that you'll be able to join us to have a time like this as well, to have a conversation about something else. If you're in the group, I want to encourage you to feel free to be part of what we're doing. Feel free to engage with us with what we're doing, and I'm sure it's going to be a worthy time, a worthwhile time for you and for everyone in the group. So I will leave it there for today, and I want to thank you again for joining me. And if you're watching a replay of this, I also want to thank you for finding time to watch the replay, and do have a lovely week. Now, before we go, Saturday is Success Converge, 9 a.m. WAT, 9 a.m. West African time. And I will be anchoring that session. I want you to join me. I'll be sharing on how to show up in 2023. I believe it's going to be very, very important to us. Like when we started, I was saying that January is gone. It is time to show up. It is time to stand up. It is time to take action. Before you know it, we'll be in December 2023. And then some people begin to say, I haven't achieved anything this year. I haven't done this year. I haven't done that this year. You see, for me, this is what I want to do this year. I want to be able to show up more here. I want to be able to share more with you people. And I pray that by the grace of God, I'll be able to do it as much as I can. But you too need to stand up and begin to do whatever it is that you want to see in your life this year, you want to see in your family this year, you want to see in your finances this year. The earlier you stand up, the better. And so Saturday is very, very important, because we're going to be looking at how to show up this year. And I believe it's going to be a wonderful time. I want to invite you to join in that session. If you have not registered for it, you can go to the link is https /SC January https bit is bit.ly then / again SC Sanctuary. So maybe I'll just put it here for you to see. https /bit.ly /SC January. That caption. So show it here. Right, so that's where to go and register for the Success Converge for this one, which is coming up on Saturday. And I'll look forward to having you in that session. Thank you very much and have a beautiful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.